Good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to the Pulaski County Fiscal Court. As is customary, we like to open our court meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance. Today, I've got a special guest here in attendance, Mr. Terry Phillips. I've asked him if he'd be so kind to open us up in the pledge. If everybody please stand.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Go ahead and call this meeting to order. First item on the agenda would be approval of our minutes from our previous meeting. You've all received a copy of those. What would be your pleasure there?
Motion.
Second. A motion by Magistrate Wielden, second by Magistrate Wilson.
Just one correction on here.
Okay.
Number 8. This is motion made by Magistrate Wilson, but didn't have a second listed. We might need to fix that
Okay.
at some point. I don't know who seconded it. So,
Okay, so we'll,
just a correction.
we have a correction then. Do we have a motion to accept the minutes with this correction?
Motion.
Second. Motion by Ranshaw and second by Strunk. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So Alicia, you will get that for us, right? Next item on the agenda, no old business, so we'll move into new business. First item there is the first reading of our administrative code. You all have received a copy of that, and doesn't require a vote today, but we will let you review that and bring that to next court meeting.
On that issue, I had a few people, when I posted the agenda, ask about what is the administration code. Can we explain for the general public what the administration code is?
Well, the administrative code basically is our policies that dictate how we run Pulaski County government, including our personnel policy and also just processes that we adhere to whenever we're
Just
running the government.
Just to enlighten the general public on just what it is and what we're looking at. So
That's what I mean, it's basically tells us how to run the government, how we operate your government. So it will be, I think it is online if they want to view that, and then the new one will be as well.
The law requires us to have one and to review it annually.
For the benefit of those who didn't hear Martin, the law requires us to have an administrative code and also to review it annually. Okay. All right. So next item then will be the approval of fiscal year 2021 salaries. You've got a copy of the salary schedule there in front of you. Yes, sir.
We need to go back on the administrative code and have a motion and a vote on
Advertising.
advertising, since it's done by ordinance.
It's an ordinance.
Okay, I'm sorry, I've just been made aware we need to actually advertise the administrative code in our newspaper because it is considered an ordinance, so we would need a motion and second to be able to advertise that.
second.
Motion by Wielden, second by Ranshaw.
I know I was gonna turn it off while we're here. Oh, great.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Now we'll carry on with the 2021 salary schedule. If y'all have got a copy of that, what would be your pleasure with that?
Motion.
Second. Motion by Ranshaw, second by Strunk. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. And we had an airport resolution. They've asked that we would suspend that until next month, so we'll readdress that later. Then we have to get permission to advertise to purchase backhoes. We're going to be replacing some of our equipment, so we just need your permission to advertise for that.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Strunk and a second by Wilson. Any further discussion?
Yeah, can we go ahead and include a mini excavator and a bobcat in that so we don't continue to rent these vehicles, these machineries, and take a look if it's cost effective to buy versus rent?
Just advertise that
Yeah.
along with that.
Yeah.
Right, you all?
It's in there. Is that mini excavator? But I didn't see a skid
The
steer.
excavator is, I don't know about the skid steer.
Do we want to add the skid steer too? Yeah. Yeah, the excavator's in that.
Okay.
Yeah, but-
So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next then would be a budget amendment related to housing. Basically, this is the senior living project that we have received $1 million grant for. And the timing of this happened right around our budget, so we went ahead and passed our 2021 budget. Now we want to make an amendment to allow for this $1 million grant to be part of our 2021 budget.
Motion.
Motion by Magistrate Wilden,
Second.
second by Magistrate Strunk. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Brings us then to our department reports. We have a road work request. I've looked over, I didn't see a speed limit change or a sign that needed, so I believe we can accept these as a whole.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Wilson, second by Strunk. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries. And 911, are you here to discuss that?
Sorry.
First of all, we need to ask for approval to hire a part-time employee. It'll be Devin Fortenberry. We've lost a full-time employee, and we've got one that'll be retiring in October. So we're going to hire him as part-time.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Ranshaw, second by Strunk. Any further discussion? All in favor?
And
Any
Then-
opposed?
And then second, we have applied for a Cag Grant through Central Square. It's hard to talk in this. I know. Anyway, we have, we're asking for approval for the Cag Grant that was submitted. It was the sole submitter, Central Square. And that bid come in at $260,601. So we need to ask the court for approval for that.
For the grant?
It was a CAD grant,
What was the total on that?
$260,601.
Is this just accepting for the bid?
Yes.
Or we have not been awarded the grant?
We have been awarded the grant also.
How much was the grant? How much was the grant for?
The grant is $189,326.70.
So,
So it's not covering.
It's not, but it included like different things that other agencies needed, like City Fire was going to need a command for a tablet, and it was going to be $45,000. And then there was some field op and remote CFSs that was going to equal like 4,500. And then including our match that we were going to do, then that's where it come down to 189. But the city is going to actually, if they want the tablet command, they're going to end up paying for it.
So we're
And
not,
we're in discussion with them.
we're not paying anything above and beyond the match out of
No.
county budget, and is
No.
it that already in the county budget for this year?
We will have it through contingency. It's not in the budget as such, but it can come out of contingency.
And how much was that matching grant?
Wasn't much.
20, it's 10%. It was 21,036.30 is what it'll end up being. Well, if we get down to the 189, right? So it'll be $26,060.
And that matching part, is that just cash we have to throw in, or can it be goodwill, like services?
No, it has to be cash.
It has to be cash.
I mean, it probably could, but this is not a project that,
I didn't know if all our IT guys can do some of the work and it goes towards the matching part of that or not.
It's all equipment with the help of
Okay.
IT.
because the IT is gonna have to be trained on the new equipment also, so that's why it's gonna be,
Basically, we're getting $260,000 for $26,000, so.
pretty much,
Right.
Who placed the bid?
we did.
No, who sent in the bid?
Central Square was the
Central
sole
Square
bidder.
is the name of the company?
Mm-hmm.
Can we get a copy of that bid at some point?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. The bid was accepted on May the 26th.
For review, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we haven't officially approved the actual bid approval.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was done on May 26th.
I thought, okay.
It was Jimmy Wilden, Jason Hancock, and Steve Kelly.
Okay, I just thought that was for review only at this point. Okay.
Any other questions? Did we get a motion and a second there? I don't even, we need a
Nope. Motion?
motion by Strunk, and a second by Wielden. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I just want to congratulate Jason and Becky and Aaron for the work you've done on that. I know this is something that since I've been in office, we and many of y'all here remember when we got the last grant for the CAD system, and immediately we discovered that it wasn't as good as what we had before. But unfortunately, because of the support for the old one, we had to get the new one. And so we've been working on trying to replace that now for the last 4 years, and congratulations for being awarded this grant. That hopefully this will,
That's the highest bidded award too. Award bid. Can I just say?
yeah, that was, I guess we had that on Facebook, but of all the grants, we received the highest grant. So that was, that's good, but I know we've been working hard on this as a court to try to figure out this solution, so I'm glad you all got that done. Right. Next then, I've got a report from Jailer McCullum. He would ask me to give to you all, this is the summary document you have. It's Federal IGA Solutions for Local Jails. Basically, it's at the point where they are going to renegotiate the U.S. Marshals per diem rate. And they have gotten a bid from Summerreal to do the negotiations for them, and Summerreal has basically told them they think they can negotiate higher than $50 per day for U.S. Marshal inmates, whereas the previous rate, I think, was $44.27, so they think they can negotiate that at least $6 higher. And whereas the transportation rate was 22, they think they can negotiate that between 28 and 30. So jailer's asking permission, looks like the fee here would be $9,990 to enter into this negotiation with Summerall representing the jail. And he asked if you all would allow him to do that.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Turpin, a second by Ranshaw. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Thank you. Brings us to our treasurer. I guess you've got a few things there, Joan.
I do. Just a couple of things. There will be no fund transfers at this time. The first item I have is the bill list.
Received a copy of your bill list. and It would be your pleasure.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Ranshaw, second by Strunk. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
And the second item I have is the bank reconciliation for June. Of course, that is the last one of the fiscal year, so next court meeting, we will have the quarterly report that finishes out the year 2020.
Motion.
Second.
A motion by Wilson and a second by, was that Wielden? Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
Thank you, that's all I have.
All right, and I have a couple things here I need to bring to you. I've got, first, I tried to, this happened just since the packets went out, so you did not get a copy of this, but I've talked to you all, I believe, individually about the Crown services. Linda Burnett has asked that we could hire 3 part-time helpers as she's dealing with this COVID-19 crisis for basically compliance in her office. And this is something that if we can hire part-time, that we would be able to submit for reimbursement through the CARES Act. So we have contacted Crown Services, which is a temp service, to find 3 part-time workers. The rate that we would pay for that would be $15 per hour. The rate that the part-time workers would get, I think, is $10 an hour, and then they pay all the ancillary expenses with that $5, and I guess there's a profit built in there for the company that does this. But I would ask that you'd let me contract with Crown Services to hire up to 3 part-time to work here in the courthouse during this COVID-19 pandemic.
And you said it was going to be reimbursed through the,
This is reimbursable through the CARES Act, yes, because it is positions that are needed due to the COVID-19.
motion.
Second.
Motion by Ranshaw, second by Wielden. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Motion carries.
And just an FYI on that, and I'm trying to talk loud enough, Ross, so to pick up. We did build in the new personnel policy, in the new admin code that has the personnel policy in it, there is a job description for that
Temporary workers.
pandemic position.
Now, this was forward to the end of the year, right?
As of right now, we're approved to be reimbursed through the end of the year, but
Okay.
it may extend if circumstances, depends on the pandemic and how it plays out, I think, and what our federal government's going to allow. Okay. Did we vote?
Yes.
Okay. All right, next then, we have, I want to recommend a floater flex position to be filled. We have one opened up. We've got 2 of our workers that are going to be retiring soon, so I would like to try to recommend Mike York to be a floater flex position.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? I'm sorry, that was Wilson and Strunk. Alicia?
This is to replace somebody that's,
Yeah, we have, right now, Marvin is getting ready to retire at Animal Shelter, and then I think Chester is trying to find out how soon he can retire, so we're gonna need to rehire one right away.
Got another, it's never been filled too there.
Yep.
His name.
To what now?
Got another one that's never been filled there. I can't
Yes,
think of his name.
Judge, you remember the young man left to go back to Taylor Maintenance? That worked at the park, 12-hour shifts,
It wouldn't-
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
And then we had another one to leave as well. I didn't return after the layoff.
Right.
So we've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Just for the minutes, that'll start on the next pay period. Okay, then I have an announcement, I guess, need to make. The Health Department is going to be hosting a drive-through COVID-19 testing this Friday from 9 to 1 at Pulaski County High School. So if, I think it's, they're wanting to do up to 400 tests, and I think it's on a first-come, first-served basis. So from 9 to 1 at Pulaski County High School, they will be doing drive-through testing. So now that we'll move on to our citizens' comments, and
One more thing, Martin's got something to present.
No, that's fine, I'll stand up. If y'all remember, it's been, gosh, probably a year or more ago, we voted to join the group that was litigating the opioid crisis, how our community had been affected by people being addicted to opioids. And there was several law firms that were involved in it. One down in Pensacola, Florida is kind of leading the charge on it. And so a number of other counties also are in this with us in Kentucky. And you all voted to join that litigation. And one of the, Purdue Pharma was the big company that was producing a lot of the opioids that people were getting addicted to. And of course, they've now filed bankruptcy. And so I get updates from our litigation team all the time. And so, as you all know, in bankruptcy cases, you have to file what's called a proof of claim. And the bankruptcy court then goes through those and determines who gets what, if there's anything there to give out, et cetera. So I got a letter back at the end of June with regard to the status of the bankruptcy and our proof of claim. And tomorrow is the last day that we can, if we disagree with the proof of claim, the amount that's been submitted on our behalf, we have until tomorrow to go in and amend that. But and these are for damages that have been calculated from 2003 up through 2040. So it's future damages plus past damages, and it involves everything from child welfare and adolescent services, drug treatment programs, education and prevention programs, health care, law enforcement, criminal justice, and lost tax revenue from this opioid crisis. So the amount of our claim that we will be submitting, unless you all want to change it, is $785,36. That's 131,785,036. $131,785,036. So if that suits everybody, if our litigation team will, that's the amount that will be filed as a proof of claim with the bankruptcy court. And of course, like they say in the letter, there's a lot of people, there's about $2 trillion in claims. So Purdue Pharma probably doesn't have that much money laying around. So these claims will be, if we get money, which I hope we do, it probably won't be anywhere close to that 131 number that is contained in our proof of claim. So anybody got any questions about that? You want to leave it like it is? I don't think we need a vote on it, but unless you want to take a vote to change it.
I wouldn't know what to change, Mark. So thank you for standing in there and negotiating that for us.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so brings us then, Mr. Phillips is here today for citizens' comments. Mr. Phillips, if you don't mind to come to the microphone stand, and we just ask that you keep your comments, under 5 minutes if you would, and not any personal attacks on any of the court here, please.
The only thing that I ask is, I've got a video, and everybody's aware Pulaski County roads are not real wide out in the country. We have an out-of-stater that has a golf cart. I live on Poplersville, back in Hell's Haven. We have a boat ramp that goes down to Buck Creek. He will not get off the roads. I mean, he drives right down the middle. You got to stop. If you're pulling a boat like we do to come back over, it's getting ridiculous. I mean, he's just one person, and he's an old man, and I stopped him one time and told him, he says, he has the right to drive on these roads, and I told him, no, he doesn't. I mean, everybody in this room pays dearly for insurance. We pay for our stickers, we pay the county taxes, and I think it's getting out of hand back there, and I'd like to see what the Pulaski County has to do about it. I mean, because I know I've got a four-wheeler, and I try to stay off the road, especially on major holidays down here, because we have to, on tourism, but my wife's almost hit him a couple times coming home from work, and so have I. So, and I've got a video that shows him, if you get behind him, he will not go over. If you come towards him, like if we're putting our boat in, he will move over, but not over very enough. And I just want to know what the liability is for Pulaski County if somebody gets hurt back here. Steve, you've been back here plowing the road, so you know maybe 12 foot, and you got a car, a truck, and a boat that's going to stick out 10. I don't give you very much, and if you drop off the side of the road, some of them drop-offs are
Now, there were,
dangerous. In fact, we just had a gravel truck that went off Poplarville up there, so.
now that's in the 4th district, that's in Magistrate Ranshaw's district now, and a few years ago, there was an ordinance that allowed some recreational vehicles to be on certain roads. Is that one of those roads that was included?
ATV, now that was on the back roads, Ben Baker, back through there, so I don't know if we do have an ordinance against golf carts.
Well, to me, a golf cart belongs on the golf course. I understand that people use ATVs, side-by-sides, but a golf cart only
Yeah,
goes
they
maybe
run-
20, 25 miles an hour.
They run around down there all the time with ATVs and all
Yeah, I
that.
know.
And
I'm not-
I worried about the ones that are riding 3 and 4 deep on an ATV and all that, so. But, I mean, I don't know if there's any traffic laws against it.
There is.
Well, I know
that-
when I was getting my license renewed at the courthouse, I asked one of the Pulaski County sheriffs, and he said, well, they're not really supposed to because they're not a licensed vehicle to be on the county roads. You don't pay taxes, you don't have insurance, you don't have a driver's license for it.
I think
But he
even,
says, they kind of overlook it a little bit.
even the ATV trail, you still have to
Yes,
follow state and federal rules as far as safety issues on those ATVs, so.
Well, like I said, I'm no saint. I've got an ATV. Okay, I get on the roads, but not when on that, and I go back into the Daniel Boone National Forest on the gravel roads, me and my wife. But, we're 65 years old. We're not driving around like a bunch of maniacs, but I don't want to mention the state he's in, but you got one person out of state that thinks he can do this, and I'm not the only one back there that's had some run-ins with him with not getting off the road. And I've got a video on phone that'll show you that he'll go right down the middle of the road, and he will not get out of the way.
And Martin Hatfield may be able to answer this better, but
It's an enforcement issue.
it-
Like he said, law enforcement said it's illegal, they gotta catch him, cite him to court.
and that seems to be the big problem, is being able to be there when the violation is happening and being able to enforce the
Well, I
law.
know, Pulaski County's so large, it's the second largest county in the Commonwealth, and the sheriffs cannot patrol every place. But the problem of it is, if somebody, his grandkids of his gets on it, somebody gets hurt and gets smacked back there,
So we can.
what's the legal?
There's no liability on the county for that if he's out using the road.
Well, I'm just saying, what happens, like if my wife comes down the hill coming from work, and his grandkids smack into her, or she smacked into, who's going to, and for God's sakes, I hope none of them get seriously hurt, but a golf cart versus a car or a truck or a boat trailer, there's not very much safety there in a golf cart. And I don't want to see anybody back or get their butts in trouble because of some people that's
Well, there's
doesn't want to follow the
There's
rules.
nothing this court can do about any of that. It's an enforcement issue. Law enforcement will have to catch them, cite them to court, to district court, and otherwise, there's nothing this court can do
Okay.
on that issue.
I just wanted to bring it to your attention because I know, like I said, when we got our license renewed, I brought it up to one of the officers over there, and he said, basically, he says that they're not supposed to, but they really don't enforce it unless it gets out of hand. And I thought, well, I called Mr. Ramshaw, and he said I needed to come here and get on the docket and come in and discuss it with you guys to see, get some input from you before somebody, I'm not, like I said, I'm the spokesperson for back there, so, thank you very much.
Have you contacted the sheriff's office about this issue?
Not just the officer that was over at the courthouse when I got my license, I just casually chit-chatted with him and asked him about it on there. And like you said, for anything that, for us to call the sheriff department, you're talking 30 minutes to get out there, if not longer.
If not
We
longer.
don't have a constable anymore, do,
No,
no, so,
not an active.
that's.
Not, we have one, but he's not active. He's in jail.
So, like I said, the only other thing I've got is video, and I just hate to see somebody get hurt. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Phillips.
you.
Okay, well, with no further business then, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion. Motion by Wilson.
Second.
Second by Strunk. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you all very much.